My name is John
Hamilton Hill,
and I've had an interest in art most of my life. I was pretty good at art when I was at school, although in fact I ended up pursuing maths because I decided I couldn't make a living in art. I've been collecting art now for many decades. I probably started in the 1970s collecting simple prints, but then as I acquired a little bit more money, I started buying original art. I've now got quite an eclectic collection. Robert Oscar Lenkiewicz I met in the early 90s, and in fact I bought some of his paintings, one shortly before that and some since that. I met him in Plymouth where he was giving a lecture, and I met him after the lecture and we had a one-to-one chat. I was originally introduced by my good friend Lawrence Paul Cleary, who knew Robert very well. Robert Lenkiewicz was born in 1942. His parents emigrated from Berlin in 1939, just before the World War. His mother was German and his father was Polish. And they set up a small hotel in London. And during the war, they mainly catered for Jewish refugees. So Robert, when he was a young boy, saw a lot of very desperate cases, particularly starving people, deformed people, very, very desperate situation. At 16, Robert went to St. Martin's School of Art in London, where he got a distinction. He was a bit unconventional from day one because a lot of his contemporaries were trying to be fashionable and get into very abstract art, whereas Robert was very affected by the National Gallery and the old artists. And he continued this form of art throughout his life. His art all has hidden meanings. It shows different parts of life. His addiction art shows the hardship drug addicts have. His vagrancy paintings, there's one over here, Senator Lynch, as he's called, the tramp. The Senator Lynch there is on the right hand side, in front of Lenkiewicz's shop, funny enough, in Plymouth. And Lenkiewicz is accepting a £1 note from Senator Lynch, who is a tramp. Robert Lenkiewicz actually lived with the tramps for well over a year and got extremely friendly with them. And in Plymouth he caused an uproar. One of the many uproars he caused was when Diogenes, another tramp who he nicknamed Diogenes, obviously from the Greek mythology, he promised Diogenes when he died he would keep his body. And he did keep his body. He actually had the body embalmed and covered in plastic and stood in his hallway. And it stood there for 2 years until the local authorities found out about it and they came looking for it, because obviously it's against the law to keep dead bodies standing in your hallway. The local authorities never actually found the body because he hid it in a large drawer in his house. The body came to light when Lenkiewicz himself died. Robert Lenkiewicz died at about the age of 60 of a heart attack, unfortunately. He had an addiction to collecting antique books, and he spent all the money he ever made on antique books. My favourite piece of art painted by Robert Lenkiewicz is Anna, a portrait of Anna. And he did many paintings of her, but this is the finest. You see with all the fine detail, even of her scarf, of her hair, the shoes, and you can see the marks on the studio floor where he wants his various models to stand. I'm afraid he had the habit of, when he had the phase of painting women, because he did have a phase of painting women, he was very fond of women. He, in fact, sometimes used to paint 5 women portraits in one day. The woman, lucky or unlucky enough to be painted the last, was the one that slept the night with him. Now this book was given to me by Robert Lenkiewicz in 1998. He kindly autographed this. Warm wishes to John. The Mary notebook. He was particularly taken by Mary, and with all paintings, and lots of artists do the same, they take lots of notes and sketches before they produce their final drawing, their final painting. And these are the notes he made and the sketches he made. They're slightly excessive, to say the least, and they're very sexually orientated, because Lenkiewicz was totally infatuated by Mary. I'll flick quickly through them, but I'll come to the end and show you some of the sketches at the end. Within minutes of her, here we are. 4:05 p.m, 22nd of March, in the airport, 3 minutes before boarding the plane for Rome. There's Mary there. Well, he quickly did that in 3 minutes. Pretty remarkable, to say the least. All the art I have bring memories. As a good friend of mine said, you've always got to remember the moment you buy anything, because it's not the actual object you're buying and how much you're paying, it's the moment in time, and you remember that moment in time, and that moment in time of buying it means a lot to you. But the whole point of art is that you enjoy buying it, you enjoy the moment of buying it. The whole meaning of art is to enjoy it, to remember it, and to enjoy looking at it every day.